damn it! My life has value!
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome black. Welcome Black to Black America Radio. This is your host, Rasta D. It is Saturday the 14th, 2017. Today's title, we're going to be speaking on Terry Crews, Waka Flocka, the Eminem Freestyle, and like a lot of various topics. We're going to be talking about Hillary Clinton trolling Trump and other stuff. Guest call in number 646-716-4654. As normal, before I start, let me bring my co-host in. Smoke, are you there?
Yep. What's poppin'?
So it's good, yeah?
You already know, big Saturday in this bitch.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
Watching a little baseball earlier, you know what I'm saying? That's about it, man.
You ain't never see the web series that your brother in?
Nah, I saw like the first 2 episodes. That shit seemed like it's alright. You know what I'm saying? I ain't get to the one with him in it. You know what I'm saying? But that's it. I'll probably check the rest of it tonight, you know what I'm saying? Before I fall asleep.
Alright, well, shit. He starts in the 3rd episode.
Oh, the one I stopped. I stopped on number 2.
Yeah.
Well, I watched number 2. Shit. I started to go to 3. I was like, I'll watch it later.
Literally, he starts with number 3. They show Chauncey Street and everything. Once you see Chauncey Street, yeah, that's when you see him jump out in the scene with the gangster lead. I said, "Oh shit!" Yeah. He in there throughout the rest of the shit. After that. Yeah.
Shit, I gotta watch that shit now.
Yeah. That's why I asked you and shit. It was funny because when he first said that shit, he was like, "Stop that 2." I was like, "Damn, that nigga had 3 though." He like, I'm gonna stop. Oh wait, give it a break. Nah, he right there. The next one. But yeah, so you know, but yeah, it was a good story. What's the name of it though? Just to promote it.
Karma Kills.
Yeah, Karma Kills.
It's alright. It's pretty good. I can't front. 2 episodes, man.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, I've seen the whole shit. I'm waiting for the new episode.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's how that should go. Yeah, I seen just scrolling through the news or whatever, I saw Hillary Clinton face, her little dry face on the on the screen, and the title said, "We made a person who committed sexual assault president." So I said, look at Hillary over here, still trolling. Still mad she lost the president. Yo, she's still trolling. That shit is fucking hilarious, man. This motherfucker's still trolling. So, there goes, former Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton discussed the culture of sexual assault following a mirage of new sexual harassment and assault allegations against Hollywood film producer and longtime Democratic donor Harvey Weinstein, who donated to the Clintons and Barack and all of that. But before I continue, you know what's funny? Because it's always happened. If you always watch the pattern, it's always happened. Anytime something happens to a black person, you always see a domino effect of white people that fall down behind them. That's what happened. For example, let me give you some examples. You got Bill O'Reilly who wanted to attack Ludacris because Ludacris was on the Pepsi commercial for his vile language. So
right.
then they put the Osbournes on, right? Ozzy Osbourne and shit. And then everybody like, damn, that's some hypocritical shit. That shit got pulled. Boom. Then Bill O'Reilly turns around and attacks Maxine Water. Then he get caught up in the sex scandal, right? He gets kicked out of the shit. Then this case right here, you know what I'm saying, where they attack Bill Cosby because of the whole woman shit, the 70 women and all that shit like that. And now, every time you turn around, there's different dudes that's getting pointed out for being fucking predators and shit in the white community. So it's like, it's just funny, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, major cases too.
Right, major shit. So it goes, in an interview with the UK's Channel 4 News on Saturday, Clinton said, look, we just elected someone who admitted sexual assault to the presidency. To the presidency. So there's a lot of other issues that are swirling around these kinds of behaviors that need to be addressed, Clinton said when asked if she had heard rumors of Weinstein's behavior before the bombshell report. I think it is important that we focus and shine a bright spotlight and try to get people to understand how damaging this is, she continued. The woman coming forward is the only way that the story will be told, she said. Clinton comments come as accusations against Weinstein going back decades continue to surface from major Hollywood actresses, including Rose McGowan, Angelina Jolie, and Kate Beckinsale. Trump faced major backlash during the presidential campaign when he was heard bragging about groping and kissing women on a leak access Hollywood tape from 2005. Numerous sexual assault allegations surfaced against Trump during the campaign. Clinton, along with the Obamas, came under scrutiny after the issued statements condemning Weinstein's behavior 5 days after the scandal broke. The behavior described by women coming forward cannot be tolerated. Their courage and the support of others is critical in helping to stop this kind of behavior, Clinton said. Clinton announced on Tuesday that she would be donating the money Weinstein contributed to her campaign. So she's going to be donating the money that that's why it took 5 days. You know what I'm saying? This chick is just trolling. You know what I'm saying? Trolling. Look, you took money from Weinstein. Don't add me in the shit. Don't stop bringing me up. You know what I'm saying? The people talking about you. You want to talk about me being president. So that's Hillary Clinton bringing that up, right? And now I want to bring up the Terry Crews. Because, you see me, the funny thing about it is, you know, I'm telling about, me and my lady, we had a talk about our boys, and she was like, yeah, you know, I want to have them doing modeling and, you know, acting and stuff like that. So I told her, I said, if you want to do that, cool. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. I said, but I'm going to let you know right now, when I go on the set to see them, if I don't like the atmosphere and I see too much little funny people walking around and stuff like that, I'm pulling them. They're not going to be doing that. I said, so if you want to do that, then that's something you're going to have to do, because if I'm involved, once I see one sissy, one weird vibe of the, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be like, nah, pull my boys up out of this. I ain't doing that. Fuck up out of here. I know ways to get bread. You know what I'm saying? I know ways to get bread. So it's like, that's me. So I just want to, and it's not Hollywood. It's entertainment. You understand what I'm saying, Smoke? Because, see, what happened is people like to break shit up. They'll sit there and say, look what happened in the NFL. What's happening in the NFL is happening in the NBA. It's also happening in the MLB. It's also happening, you know what I'm saying, all the sports shit. All of this shit is happening then. So it's like, it's all entertainment. When we break shit down and separate it, we start thinking one place is better than the other. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, nah, it's all the same shit. So it's like when you have your boys them in the sports, you got to look at it that way. Yo, I got to protect my sons because these people might be trying to, you know what I'm saying, impose their will on them. You got them inside because they had the whole shit with the gymnastics was like that. When them people was in there screwing the gymnastics.
The sports shit for me is like if you're going to have your kids in it, the best way to be is that super sports mom or dad who got time to go to those games, to take them back and forth, go on the road sometimes, you know, and shit like that, to where it's like you're a presence there. Because a lot of times with us, we use the sports shit to kind of like, you know, fill a void or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, their daddy not there, so go play sports. You know what I'm saying? Go with the coach and let the coach. You know what I mean? It's just like you can't really do it like that because you know we done heard all these cases. You know, the Penn State case, Sandusky, and this shit is happening from when they kids all the way up. So you know, it's like a game of chance because you don't know who these people are, and we see you see molesters everywhere. You know, you just turn on the TV, you've seen the cases of teachers sleeping with the kids, and so they're everywhere. And so you have to really pay close attention to your kids. So I wouldn't recommend just throwing your kid in a sport where it's like something to fill your time. You know what I mean? To give you free time.
Yeah, you're not involved.
You're not involved. You gotta just be involved with that.
Be involved, Be involved in everything that you do with your children. Don't just assume that the people that's there, and that's including school. You know what I'm saying? That's including school. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta make sure that the people. I'm gonna tell you right now, under the stuff that I do, you know what I'm saying, to get my money. You know what I'm saying? I see paperwork where you got people writing in to get their records expunged because they want to work with children, and the stuff that they want to get expunged is shit involving kids. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they'll get the shit expunged because them shits be misdemeanors. Them joints be misdemeanors. You know what I'm saying? And they'll sit there and get them shits expunged. And then they'll have it in there saying, "Can we get this expunged because I'm trying to apply to be a counselor in this youth program or some shit, so I need this little charge to be." And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So it's a lot of them be like that. So, you know what I'm saying? Just understand when you bring your this is the rule of thumb. When you bring your child to a place that accepts children and you got adults there to have to watch over your child, assume all of them is fucked up. That way you talk to your child, you give your child a warning, you have them with them conversations, and you let them know straight up, I got your back. Anybody move slack or funny with you, you let me know I got your back. You see what I'm saying? Because you can't have them out there, kids going to war against adults. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's pretty much the way we have it now, because then when the child comes to the parent, then a lot of time it'd be the parent and the teacher against the child. And that's like, you know, and all you do now is make the child feel like, I'm in this by myself. You know what I'm saying? So we have to really step up for our children and shit, because if they breaking down these adults' and I always say that, if you see a community with the men killing each other, that means the woman not protected. And if the woman not protected, meaning she's being raped, beat on, and all kind of stuff like that, if she's not being protected, then I mean the children not being protected. You know what I'm saying? The little boys and the little girls and the babies, they're being raped and abused, and you see what I'm saying? So it's like that. All of those are indicated. When you hear a situation like when everybody's talking about Chicago murders, if Chicago got murders like that, you can only imagine what the children is going through. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's no protection. So you can imagine what the children is going through. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah. But to bring it back
we talking about,
but
let me just say this one part. But we always talking about what we got to do to build ourselves up and what we got to do to fix ourselves. That's why I always say work on your household first. Because we look so far down the future and we want so much fast change that we miss the key portions and the key parts, and that's the next generation, building a stronger generation that starts at home. Go ahead, Smoke.
The Terry Crews, just to bring about the Terry Crews, you know, he's into sports. He was a sports guy, you know what I mean, growing up. So, you know, who knows how that affected that situation with the, you know what I mean, with the group and shit.
No, but remember he had the story once where he said the football shit like really fucked with his head or some shit, because he was like how a coach used to call him, I can't remember the name, but let's say the coach would call him Jamal. He'll be like, coach, my name's Terry. He'll be like, yeah, but I like Jamal better. And he'll be like, hey, Jamal, come over here. You know what I'm saying? And he had to do that, and you know what I'm saying? So it's like, because he said the whole shit was, yeah, but he was like, the whole shit was you wanted to be on a team. But this is during the NFL. You see what I'm saying? I want to say this is the NFL. It's either the NFL, or maybe it's either the NFL or college. But I know he was like, but basically he's a grown man though. But it's either NFL or college, right? But he was like, I'm thinking did he play for the NFL?
I want to say like two seasons or some shit like that.
Okay, so then it happened in the So it happened in the NFL. So that's why he played for 2 seasons. Because when he went to the NFL, that's when the coach was calling him Jamal and shit. That's not the real name. I just can't remember what the name is. They were calling him like Jamal and shit. And then was like, so he said it used to fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? But he knew that. He said the shit that used to fuck with him is that he couldn't do nothing because he's trying to get on the team. So he'll be out there busting his ass, all kind of shit, getting knocked out, all kind of shit, dealing with that bullshit, with the disrespect. And then at the end of the day, he still got cut. And then the dude was telling him how you ain't going to be nothing. The only thing you know how to do is football. Outside of football, you can't. So he really believed that and all of that. And I want to say his woman is the one that told him, like, you know, well, you can do whatever you want. And that's what made him, you know, push on to do whatever you want. But then guess what? You go into the Hollywood scene, and when the situation happened to him, guess what happens, Smoke? You're put back in that same situation as football. Come here, Jamal. Damn, do I check him? I don't want to lose this. So if this person grabbed my dick, what am I going to do? Should I overreact and then get blackballed and I don't get the money? Or do I laugh it off and then do a couple of gay roles and my career take off? You know what I'm saying? So it's basically the same. So it's the same situation as the football. Anytime you're in the position where you need somebody, and it's that pimp and hoeing. So when you're doing that to grown people, when you're doing that to a grown man, and that's why I said, we're not. Let me read the story. I don't want to go too deep. Terry Crews recounts sexual assault by Hollywood honcho. Showing that it can happen to anyone, Terry Crews shared his own unwanted experience on Twitter on Tuesday in response to revelations about the Hollywood super producer. The whole thing with Harvey Weinstein is giving me PTSD. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine star actor began, because the kind of thing happened to me, because this kind of thing happened to me. Crews went on to detail an incident that allegedly occurred at a Hollywood function. He attended Crews went on to detail an incident that allegedly occurred at a quote-unquote Hollywood function he attended with his wife last year. Oh, this happened last year. After an unnamed high-level executive wrote my private, the actor said he jumped back in surprise. He just grinned like a jerk. Crews said of the perpetrator. He explained that he didn't immediately react because he was afraid of how it would look. 240-pound black man stomps out Hollywood honcho. Would be the headline the next day, he wrote. The actor said he talked about the incident with everyone I knew that worked with him, but eventually let it go because he didn't want to be ostracized. I understand why many women who this happened to let it go, Crews said, before ending on a positive note. Hopefully, me coming forward with my story will deter a predator and encourage someone who feels hopeless. A representative of Crews told HuffPost the actor would not be commenting further. Crews' story comes after Gwyneth Paltrow, Angela Jolie, Rosanna Arquette, Rose McGowan, and other women in Hollywood have gone public with tales of harassment and abuse. They say they sustained at the hands of Weinstein. A small but growing number of high-profile celebrities, including Jennifer Lawrence, Meryl Streep, and George Clooney, have spoken out against Weinstein and in praise of the women who shared their experience so far. The Weinstein Company fired is co-founder on Sunday in response to the allegations against him. Did you know that they said that he had there was a contract or some shit that they had that they won't worry about any of his sexual assault shit so long as he's the one paying for it and not the company?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's how ill that shit is.
Separate that whole shit. Sue that motherfucker. No.
And that's why I be like, when people be talking about, like when I hear black women talk about the rape culture, and I'm like, don't talk about the rape culture like that's some black man shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I be feeling like they like to bunch black men into a lot of bullshit, and I'm like, hold on, we being oppressed just like you. Fuck out of here. And the funny thing about it is, I said that with the whole shit about when I hear black women talk about, oh, we got double negatives or whatever. We're black and we're a woman. And I was like, what do that mean? Oh, well, sexual harassment. And I'm like, men get sexually harassed too. We get sexually harassed by women and by men. And we can't even say shit about it because it's just comparison. You know what I'm saying? If it's a woman, you like a punk. And if it's a dude, you like shit. You know what I'm saying? You want nobody knowing all that shit. You just check that shit yourself. So it's like we get zero representation. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, if you're going to talk about sexual harassment, assault, shit like that, don't put a gender on it. Just knock the whole action. Say that's wrong. Don't say against. No. It should be against everybody.
My problem with the Terry Crews shit is, I mean, if you're gonna reveal that, then you gotta reveal who it is. It's like, to me, it's like, what's the point? You know, what was the point of even doing that? It's like, you want to drum up sympathy or support, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you really want to prevent somebody from, you know, from that happening to somebody else, then call names. It's like, you know, you think in the sense of Terry Crews a grown-ass man. So, you trying to prevent...
Let me tell you, them niggas scared. Remember, Elijah, what's that nigga name? Elijah Woods? The nigga Elijah Woods from, I want to say Frodo and all that shit, the dude from The Hobbits and all that bullshit like that. But his dude name is Elijah Woods, right? White boy. He was talking about the sex ring, the child sex ring in Hollywood. He was like, yo, that shit is rampant and that shit is there. That shit is known. Them niggas be passing around kids. And he was like, the only how he didn't get caught up in that shit is because his parents, his parents was very heavily involved. They didn't allow him to go to none of the parties, none of that shit.
Yeah, but that's the point that I'm trying to make. Like, if a grown-ass man is coming up with that dilemma in his head because another grown man groped him, then you know it's an issue with the kid. So if you're trying to reveal this to prevent some type of issue, then you need to be calling names. Otherwise, you a sucker, if you ask me.
Them niggas scary. Them scared. Them niggas scared.
To me, it's just like why even talk about it? Why even bring it out unless you got some sort of other motive for that? Are you trying to drum up support or some shit, or you know what I mean? Like, you get your followers up or some shit. It's like, to me, it makes absolutely no sense.
Let me tell you, Jamie Foxx done told stories. Well, was it Jamie? No, it was Jamie Foxx's friend. His name is Johnny motherfucking Knack, and out of Oakland. So he was saying how he was going to drop off some like, he writes script. So him and Jamie was going to Mario Van Peebles' crib. So they go over there. So some shit how he want to give Mario Van Peebles a script. This nigga got no shirt on and shit. Telling the nigga, yo, you know what I'm saying, you want to chill over here? And this nigga like, nah, I'm good, yo. You know what I'm saying? I heard another story about Quincy Jones. Try to tell the nigga to stay over. He'll call him a cab to send him back home. But Jamie Foxx was telling them, you don't want to be there. You don't want to stay over there, yo. Like, yeah, they be yeah, that shit, like, it's well-known shit. It's well-known. You know what I'm saying? And they just break. So there's a pimp and a hoe situation going on, basically. So we got to also look at that when we're looking at leaders. That's why I say there is no leader. Because where do our leaders come from, Smoke? Entertainment, sports and entertainment. The same people getting groped up, sexually assaulted, you know what I'm saying, controlled and shit. They go on TV and act like they're strong and they got it together, but behind the scenes, they're victims. And then they're talking to us, and we're thinking that they're giving us power. No. That's why I say there is no leaders. There's only men and women that decide to stand up. That's it. We can't look at the people on TV. Their job is to entertain you. Since we're in a white man's reality, let's go back to his medieval times. And instead of a president, it's a king. They would be the clowns. They would be the court justice. Yeah. So it's like you know what I'm saying? So that's not who we need to be looking to. We need to be looking towards ourselves and building our families up. Not looking towards these people for answers and they need to speak for us and represent us, and no, they shouldn't. They're pets, man. They're part of another society where their whole job is just to entertain the masses. That's it. That's why every time they get into that light, they end up being on some other shit. So that's one clue, black people, that you shouldn't look towards them for nothing other than entertainment. The only one that's going to save you is you. The end. Now, here's what's funny, Smoke. Didn't you, what was the Ali Vegas story?
When he was on, that was a Doggy Diamonds interview. And he was pretty much saying, like, Ali Vegas is a rapper, New York rapper, and he pretty much was saying how, like, it is a gay weirdo society in entertainment, you know what I'm saying? And he had experienced it firsthand. And he was pretty much saying, like, giving his breakdown of what it was, and he was saying, like, how a lot of times they'll come at you just to see if you can go to that next level. So they might have things like a stylist or something like that, get you to wear certain shit. And, if you're okay with it, then it's like, okay, you could go to those so-called parties they have or whatever. And so he was saying that he was invited to one of the parties. And so he go to the party, whatever. He going in, he see one of his peoples coming out of there. And dude's face is like looking crazy. He like, yo, you don't want to go in there. And he like, he said he go to the door and it's like, yeah, I don't want to go in there. He pretty much break out and shit. So it's like, he pretty much had a story like that. And he was also saying, like, he was telling one of his other peoples who was like a up and coming model or something to that effect. And his homie that wasn't believing him. He like, you bugging, you know what I'm saying? Like, you being extra until it happened to him, you know what I'm saying? And like, he had some type of modeling deal, and the deal fell through because of his non-participation or whatever the case was. So, he pretty much was just making a confirmation that those circles do exist out there, and it's really on. What I took from it is really on you, whether you want to play or not. You know what I'm saying? It's not like some shit where a spell gets put on you and you know what I mean. Your mind is crazy. Or, you know what I mean? It's not. You're either gonna make that decision to play or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is.
Yeah, but what happens when they get to the door?
What you mean?
When they go into the party?
He was saying some shit about, like, it was a bunch of naked motherfuckers or some shit like that. He said he ain't going into the party. So if I ain't
when you get to the door, the guy grabs your dick.
I don't remember that part.
He said the guy grabs your dick. Yeah, he said when you get to the door, the guy grabs your dick. So I found it interesting that that's what Terry Crews said happened to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, is you with it?
I found it interesting. Yeah.
That's the heat check.
Is you with it? So it's like, and then you gotta remember how Terry Crews came in too, playing all them gay roles. So when you see people playing them gay roles now, that we understand this, and the sexual shit that was going on in Hollywood, now when you see these guys dressing up in dresses, playing these gay roles, now there should be no assumption. Now you should definitely look at it and say, yo, you're a weirdo. Why would you play that knowing that society plays weird games? And that's the way of breaking you. That's the way of taking advantage of you.
Because you already know what it is. It's the financial gain.
Exactly.
It's the
so, I mean, I can't
gain.
trust you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't trust you.
It plays back into your original point.
You see? So, that's Terry Crews. This is in Black America Radio. Just call it number 646-716-4654. In Black America Radio, the speaker on Terry Crews, Waka Flocka, and the Eminem Freestyle. So, let's talk about the Eminem Freestyle set. Now, initially, I wasn't going to speak on it, but I'm glad I'm speaking on it. But I'm glad I like the response. I like that the black people, the black youth of today is calling it what it is. And then I'm feeding into the bullshit.
It's getting better.
Did you hear what Vince said? You heard what Vince Staples said?
I saw the headline before when I was logging in. I didn't even get a chance to listen to it. I know he was saying, or according to the headline, he was saying that it was trash or whatever.
Yeah, the shit was trash. Everybody's getting butthurt. That lets you know that it's agendas being pushed. You know what I'm saying? When I heard it, I was like, "This is garbage." And then once you finish, I'm listening to it on the radio. Once you finish, then all I hear is the radio announcers. Oh, that was some heat. That was he did it again. He did it. See, that's why he's the GOAT. Can y'all give me a block? Can y'all give me a verse that's hot? You heard what he said about Trump? That's all you hear. You heard what he said about Trump? That's all you hear. Why? Because that's the only thing that they get hype about. Everything else, they don't care about that. So black.
That's the vibe. That's the vibe of the country right now. It's like anybody saying anything about Trump, you know what I mean, portraying him in a negative light, dissing him, throwing shots, whatever. It's gonna get like people gonna love it. You know what I'm saying? That's basically all it is. Like you see, was it Christy Teigen? John Legend wife? Like he blocked her because she always throwing shots at her. So she tweets him and it's like, you know, I guess it shows user blocked or some shit like that. She's screenshotting that. Oh, I got on the president. Everybody bigging her up like, oh, he blocked her. You know what I mean? It's just like that. Yeah. That gets it. So like when you they was having the BET cipher. There was a lot of Trump references throughout the cipher. You know what I'm saying? And then for him to come on, people gonna automatically react Trump. Oh, he went at Trump. But then it's like, to me, it's like he got an album coming out. So he has an album coming out. You could tag on what is going, the hot topic, which is Trump. We on the Black Awards. We're on a Black Awards show. You already know that's gonna hit. They set the whole shit up. They got the whole crew of niggas behind them. You know what I mean? Got the ambiance here in the side of the garage with the cars, and you know what I mean? They set the whole shit up for them. So it was just like a marketing shit, and it's just playing off with a hot topic right now on black entertainment television. You know what I'm saying? Playing off that hot topic of Trump. You know what I mean? So we feed into the emotional side of shit. We've been speaking on that lately. So we get emotional. We start hearing the Trump. We hear the disses. We like, oh, we ain't even care about how good the round is no more. We just know he dissing Trump. So we playing into the emotional shit, which is going to lead into his album, which is going to lead into the talks and record sales and all this and that and so forth. The ironic thing, though, was that when you think back to Beyonce, when Beyonce did the Formation shit, and, you know, she came out with the Black Panther joint, the whole talk about that was now Beyonce and Jay-Z, they want to ride on the conscious wave, and this is a publicity stunt, blah, 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 blah. She you know, that was a big portion of the talk surrounding that was flack from people saying that shit, especially us. Especially us. We was the ones saying that.
Hustler was stronger. Hustler was stronger.
That shit was official.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit was official, and it was coming from a black woman, so you already know. And it's Beyonce. She don't got to do that. She don't got to make no statements. She's going to make her money. So, so you know, you got that talk from us, and then, you know, now fast forward to Eminem, who let's just say the rap was corny, you know what I'm saying? Who had the corny rap, and, you know, we don't even look that far of it. We just, I love the message, but, you know, when we have a situation like that with one of our own, we will dissect that shit down to the bone to find some type of way of discrediting, you know, any statement that we make. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And everybody had to do it. Charlemagne had to turn around and going to turn around and say, because he, by mistaken, he was one of those, the shit was Eminem killed it and all that shit too. Then the next day he was like, you know, after further review, the rhyme wasn't all that. The freestyle wasn't all that.
It wasn't.
It wasn't. We're programmed to be like that. We're programmed to be like that. We're conditioned to be like that. But and you can tell that by the response to black people. Oh, but he's a white ally. He's a white ally.
You took what I was about to say out of my damn mouth and shit. Like, that is the vibe of what's happening right now, because you mentioned Charlemagne the God. Charlemagne spoke throughout the recent shows about having white allies. So, you know what I mean? Just to use your term.
Yeah.
Having white people come and use their white privilege to, you know, help the black struggle, pretty much.
That ain't my turn. That's their turn. That's not my turn. That's their turn.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's been his vibe. So, further his agenda, instead of really dissecting it for what it is, you further your agenda by just hopping on, because it's a piece of material. It's a good clip that you can, you know, promote your point. And so you just saw a bunch of that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, we can use this to show that this is why. Listen, man, that shit was whack anyway. Yeah, like, if anything, let's talk about my son. My son had been, you know, front and center with Colin Kaepernick situation, the bending the knee. You seeing him at a bunch of different events and shit like that for the community. So if anything, we should be standing behind him. His rhyme was way better. It's like, come on, son. We got other brothers over there that's speaking to the same effect, but we want to jump on the, you know what I mean, the side of Eminem to further the cause and shit, and it just plays back into that whole white ally. You know, so it's funny that you use Charlemagne the God, you know, that you speak to that effect, because he was one of the main people that I definitely hear on a day-to-day basis who was promoting that.
He's a promoter. He's a promoter of it. He's definitely a promoter of it. And everything he promotes, he then want to turn around and try to fight against it. But I'm like, you're the promoter of it. That's why I call bullshit on his shit. Remember, he talking all the pro-black shit now, right? But he was the one fucking calling up as a Ku Klux Klan man, calling black people all kind of fucking black stereotypical names, coons, Sambos and shit, porch monkeys, boots. They're somebody in the background screaming white power.
White power.
He don't do it no more. He used to do that. Remember, he thought he was running around white Nubian queen. He don't say that shit no more, right? But remember, all of this shit was the shit he was promoting. He was pumping all of that shit. You know what I'm saying? He was pumping all of that shit. Yeah, but now that it's not favorable to do the cooning, now he jumping on the let me be a character for the pro-black shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he does the pro-black while promoting and pushing the gay shit he always do. And he's still cool. He just know he has to be that coon that also give it to white people, because that's what the climate is.
Right.
Because he used to always say segregation was a good cause, just a bad model. He said instead of using it by race, they should have used it by behavior. He'll walk around and say, oh, everybody's a nigga. It's not just black niggas, it's white niggas, it's this niggas, it's that niggas. And I'm like, listen to the shit you promoting, yo. But then once the climate turned pro-black, then his rhetoric changed to pro-black.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but it's not
books or so.
But then you know it's not all pro. It's two different arguments. It's pro-black, the betterment of the black people, and then it's pro-black, assimilate. I just want to be equal with white people.
Right.
He's the I want to be equal with white people. So you gotta watch out for them people. You know what I'm saying? Because they tricksters. They tricksters. Yeah, I was trying to look for this part in this book. There we go. I want to read this part. So I can so you can hear from your ancestors. This is from Where Do We Go From Here? This is the chapter Black Power. 1 hour after making staff assignments and setting up headquarters at the Reverend James Lawson Church in Memphis, a group of us packed into four automobiles and made our way to the desolate spot on Highway 54 where James Meredith had been shot the day before. Shit, my eye. Yeah. Now remember, this is the late 60s. This is fighting for rights. So began the second stage of the Meredith, Mississippi Freedom March. As we walked down the Mandarin Highway in the sweltering heat, there was much talk and many questions were raised. I'm not for the nonviolent stuff anymore, shouted one of the younger activists. If one of these damn white Mississippi crackers touch me, I'm going to knock the hell out of them, shouted another. Later on, a discussion of the composition of the march came up. This should be an all-black march, said one marcher. We don't need any more white phonies and liberals invading our movement. This is our march. Once during the afternoon, we stopped to sing, "We Shall Overcome." The voices rang out with all the traditional fever, the glad thunder and gentle strength that had always characterized the singing of the noble song. But when we came to the stanza which speaks of black and white together, the voice of a few of the marchers were muted. I asked them later why they refused to sing that verse. The retort was, "This is a new day. We don't sing those words anymore. In fact, the whole song should be discarded. Not 'we shall overcome,' but 'we shall overrun.'" As I listened to all these comments, the words fell on my ears like strange music from a foreign land. My hearing was not attuned to the sound of such bitterness. I guess I should not have been surprised. I should have known that in an atmosphere where false promises are daily realities, where deferred dreams are nightly facts, where acts of unpunished violence towards Negroes are a way of life, nonviolence would eventually be seriously questioned. I should have been reminded that disappointment produces despair, and despair produces bitterness. And the one thing certain about bitterness is its blindness. Bitterness has not the capacity to make the distinction between some and all. When some members of the dominant group, particularly those in power, are racist in attitude and practice, bitterness accused the whole group. At the end of the march, the first day, we all went back to Memphis and spent the night in a Negro motel. Since we had not yet secured the tents and would serve as shelter each of the following night on the journey, the discussion continued at the motel. I decided that I would plead patiently with my brothers to remain true to the time-honored principle of our movement. I began with a plea for nonviolence. The immediate arousal from our friends, from the deacons of defense, who contend that self-defense was essential and that therefore nonviolence should not be a prerequisite for participation in the march. They were joined in this view by some of the activists from CORE and SNCC. I tried to make it clear that besides opposing violence on principle, I could imagine nothing more impractical and dangerous than for any of us, disastrous, than for any of us, through misguided judgment, to participate in violent confrontation in Mississippi. We had neither the resources nor the techniques to win. Furthermore, I asserted many Mississippi whites from the government on down would enjoy nothing more than for us to turn to violence in order to use this as an excuse to wipe out scores of Negroes in and out of the march. Finally, I contended that the debate over the question of self-defense was unnecessary, since few people suggest that Negroes should not defend themselves as individuals when attacked. The question was not whether one should use his gun when his home was attacked, but whether it was tactical wise to use a gun while participating in the organized demonstration. If they lowered the banner of nonviolence, I said, Mississippi injustice would not be exposed and the moral issue would be obscured. Next, the question of the participation of whites was raised. Stokely Carmichael contended that the inclusion of whites in the march should be de-emphasized and that the dominant appeal should be made for black participation. Others in the room agreed. As I listened to Stokely, I thought about the years that we had worked together in communities all across the South and how joyously he had been welcomed and accepted our white allies in the movement. What accounted for this reversal in Stokely's philosophy? I surmise that much of the change had its psychology roots in the experience of SNCC in Mississippi during the summer of 1964. 1964. Before I continue, so Smoke, I just used one of the key words, right? White allies. This is Martin Luther King. And I thought about the years that we had worked together in communities all across the South and how joyously he had then welcomed and accepted our white allies in the movement. So how funny is it that 2017, we're screaming white allies, and that was a term that was used in the 60s. You dig what I'm saying, Smoke?
Yep.
And that's what I mean when I say these civil rights niggas need to die off. They holding us back.
Yeah, you can tell they champion the narrative that's out there.
You see what I'm saying? The same narrative, an old narrative, a stale narrative.
That was
They're
64.
stuck. You know how they say
1964? That was 50 years ago.
No, not 1964. This got to be late 60s. But he's thinking back of 1964 when SNCC went to Mississippi. So he's thinking that might have been when. Yeah, he's thinking that might be when Stokely Carmichael started to realize or change his views on the white allies. So let me continue. So he goes, I surmise that much of the change had its psychological roots and experience in SNCC in Mississippi during the summer of 1964, when a large number of northern white students had come down to help in that racially torn state. When the SNCC workers saw was the most, what the SNCC workers saw was the most articulate, powerful, and self-assured young white people coming to work with the poorest of the Negro people and simply overwhelmed them. That summer, Stokely and others in SNCC had probably unconsciously concluded that this was no good for Negroes, for it simply increased their sense of their own inadequacy. Of course, the answer to this dilemma was not to give up, not to conclude that blacks must work with blacks and Of course, the answer to this dilemma was not to give up, not to conclude that blacks must work with blacks in order for Negroes to gain a sense of their own meaning. The answer was only to be found in the persistent trying, perpetual experimentation, persevering togetherness. Like life, racial understanding is not something that we find, but something that we must create. What we find when we enter these mortal planes is existence, but existence is the raw material out of which all life must be created. A productive and happy life is not something that you find. It is something that you make. And so the ability of Negroes and whites to work together to understand each other will not be found ready-made. It must be created by the fact of contact. Along these lines, I implore everyone in the room to see the morality of making the march completely interracial. Consciences must be enlisted in our movement. I said not merely racial groups. I reminded them of the dedicated whites who had suffered, bled, and died in the cause of racial justice, and suggests that to reject white participation now would be a shameful repudiation of all for which they had sacrificed. Finally, I have said that the formidable foe, well, before I even continue, let's just stop there. Let's just stop that. I reminded them of the dedicated white who had suffered, bled, and died in the cause of racial justice, and suggested that to reject white participation now would be a shameful repudiation of all for which they had sacrificed. So, with these civil rights people, and if Martin Luther King is saying that now, but back then during the 60s, and these civil rights people, if they still following that, then that means they still owe white people, or they feel like they are loyal towards white people and always can accept white people help because of white people that died for racial equality. So because of that, now we have to always make sure we have white people in our organization. Fuck out of here. All right, Smoke, what you thought about that?
Well, I mean, the thing is that, you know, if that narrative was there and, you know, that's what the leaders wanted to explore afterwards, cool. But it's been enough time period from that point to now to understand that that hasn't given us any advantage. So it's like no matter how much you call on them, no matter who you got in the corner, we still in the same damn situation, which means that our leadership is not willing to change its approach in this struggle that they so-called have, that they so-called leaders are. So that means that in turn that the leadership is comfortable. They comfortable with using the same approach. So that means two things: either the people dumb, or we just caught up in that shit too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it just shows you that the leadership is comfortable. And we spoke back on a couple shows ago about the Congressional Black Caucus. And so when you look at their a priority, when you go to the about section and you get the mission statement, their mission was to help blacks and all of Americans. When you went to the Hispanic caucus or whatever, they was to help Hispanics. When you went to the Chinese, the Asian caucus, it was to help them. So it just shows that they're cool. Leadership is cool with the situation that we in, and unfortunately, the people is just, we got our blinders on because it's just, we go back to those same leaders for these same solutions. It's like they're giving us the same shit every decade. It's the same thing. So nothing's changing.
Yeah. And here's the thing that's funny too, Smoke. If they're using the same plans from back then that means they know the outcome already.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? That means they already know the outcome. That means they're doing this on purpose. Yeah, they're doing it on purpose. That's why I'm saying I'm gonna do it. Next time we're gonna do a show, I'm gonna start to check up the ages of these motherfuckers. I wanna know how long these people been in office. We gotta drain our own damn swamp, Black America.
Yeah, that's the truth.
We gotta drain our own damn swamp. We need some fresh ideas and some new people to fight for us in Congress. We don't need no more of these goddamn people, career politicians, been in there for 40 years, 50 years, 30 years, and they doing a motherfucking thing for us.
Insurance.
It's time to vote them out. Vote their black asses out. And put some fresh blood in there, black blood in there. It's going to fight. Of course, I speak on we need the economy, but we ain't got the economy yet. So, for the voters and the people that want to vote and pro-vote, look up in your district the black people in there. And if they're not doing what they're supposed to do in your district, vote their asses out, man. And y'all got to put up another black person that's going to speak for y'all. But let me continue reading this real quick. Finally, I said that the formidable foe we now face demand more unity than ever and that I would stretch Finally, I said that the formidable foe we now face demanded more unity than ever before, and that I would stretch every point to maintain this unity, but that I could not in good conscience agree to continue my personal involvement, and that the SCLC in the march, if it were not publicly affirmed that it was based on nonviolence and the participation of both black and white. After a few more minutes of discussion, Floyd, and you know what's funny about that statement, Smoke? Because it starts like this. Finally, I said that the formidable foe we now face demanded more unity than ever before. But the unity he's speaking of is the unity among black and white and to be nonviolent. Meaning he won't even unify with his own people. He wants to unify with white people to be nonviolent than unify with his own people out of risk of violence. After a few more minutes of discussion, Floyd and Stokely agreed that we could unite around these principles as far as the march was concerned. The next morning, we had a joint press conference affirming that the march was nonviolent and the whites were welcome. As the days progressed, debates and discussions continued, but they were usually pushed to the background by the onrush of enthusiasm engendered by the large crowd that turned out to greet us in every town. We have been marching for about 10 days when we were passing through Grenada on the way to Greenwood. Stokely did not conceal his growing eagerness to reach Greenwood. This was SNCC territory in the sense that the organization had worked courageously there during the turbulent summer of 1964. As we approached the city, large crowds of old friends and new turned out to welcome us. At a huge mass meeting that night, which he held in a city park, Stokely mounted the platform, and after arousing the audience with a powerful attack on Mississippi justice, he proclaimed, "What we need is black power." Willie Ricks, the fiery orator of SNCC, leaped to the platform and shouted, "What do we want?" The crowd roared. "Black power." Again and again, Ricks cried, "What do we want?" And the response, "Black power," grew louder and louder until it had reached fever pitch. So Greenwood turned out to be the area for birth. Oh shit! Whew. Damn, dropped my fucking jaw, man. The glass jar. I ain't want that shit to bust. Alright, so it goes. So Greenwood turned out to be the area for the birth of the Black Power slogan in the Civil Rights Movement. The phrase has been used long before by Richard Wright and others, but never until that night had it been used as a slogan in the civil rights movement. For people who had been crushed so long by white power and who had been taught that black was degrading, it had a real appeal. Immediately, however, I had reservations about its use. It had the deep feeling that it was an unfortunate choice of words for a slogan. Moreover, I saw it bringing about division within the ranks of the marchers. For a day or two, there was fierce competition between those who were wedded to the Black Power slogan and those wedded to freedom now. Speakers on one side sought desperately to get the crowd to chant their slogans the loudest. Sensing the widening split in our ranks, I asked Stokely and Floyd to join me in a frank discussion on the problem. We met the next morning, along with members of each of our staff, in the small Catholic parish house in Yazoo City. For 5 long hours, I pleaded with the group to abandon the Black Power slogan. It was my contention that a leader has to be concerned about the problem of semantics. Each word, I said, has a denotative meaning. Its explicit and recognized sense, and the connotative meaning, its suggestive sense. With the concept of legitimate black power might be denotative, I don't know, damn, denotatively. What is that? Denotatively.
Get it out.
Denotatively. The slogan, Black Power carries the wrong condemnation. I mentioned the implications of violence that the press had already attached to the phrase, and I went on to say that some of the rash statements on the part of a few marchers only reinforced this impression. Stokely replied by saying that the question of violence versus nonviolence was irrelevant. The real question was the need of black people to consolidate their political and economic resources to achieve power. Power, he said, is the only thing respected in this world, and we must get it at any cost. Then he looked me square in my eye and said, Martin, you know as well as I do that practically every other ethnic group in America has done just this. The Jews, the Irish, the Italians did it. Why can't we? That is just the point, I answered. No one has ever heard the Jews publicly chant a slogan of Jewish power, but they have power. Though through group unity, determination, and creative endeavor, they have gained it. The same thing is true of the Irish and the Italians. Neither group has used the slogan of Irish or Italian power, but they have worked hard to achieve it. This is exactly what we must do, I said. We must use every constructive means to amass economic and political power. This is the kind of legitimate power we need. We must work to rebuild racial pride and refute the notion that black is evil and ugly. But this must come through a program, not merely through a slogan. Stokely and Floyd insisted that the slogan itself was important. How can you arouse people to unite around a program without a slogan as a rallying cry? Didn't the labor movement have slogans? Haven't we had slogans all along the freedom movement? What we need is a new slogan with black in it. I conceded the fact that we must have slogans, but why have one that would confuse our allies, isolate the Negro community, and give many prejudiced whites who might otherwise be ashamed of their anti-Negro feeling a ready excuse for self-justification. Why not use the slogan Black consciousness or Black equality, I suggested. These phrases would be less vulnerable and would more accurately describe what we are about. What do you think about that, Smoke? Now it's the whole thing about Black power. Now, because the our allies might be turned off if we put Black in it. Now it might be, let's reconsider. That's the issue with the white ally syndrome. Go ahead, Smoke.
It clearly shows that it's going to be a conflict of interest. So in this case, it's a slogan or, a rallying cry or whatever in terms of, Black power versus, what did he say, Black consciousness, you know what I'm saying? But what if it's another type of strategy, how you want to handle, certain situations, you know what I'm saying? It would be a conflict of interest at some point. And so that's, whether it's a slogan, whether it's, strategy, the way things move, you know what I mean? It's always going to be that in there. And so it just clearly shows that if we have them in our movement, at some point, we're going to have to take their interest into what's the word I'm looking for? Into consideration. We'd have to take their thoughts into consideration, which sometimes what they may be thinking or wanting to do may be in direct conflict of what we are trying to portray. Or they may not be to go as far as we may be willing to go in terms of a strategy. So I'm trying to think of one, something in particular, but you know what I mean? That's just basically it. So basically conflict of interest is what it comes down to.
The idea of freedom. The idea of freedom. My idea and your idea is different.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So if I say to myself, you know what? I want to have my own economy where I can employ my own people. We can control our media, set rates and, free market and all kind of other shit, international trade amongst the Black diaspora in Africa, the continent of Africa, and take care of ourselves as a people and not be relied on the white society. That might be a threat to white society. That is a threat. So now white people now might be like, but why would you want to do that? Don't you think that would be a stab in the back at the? And now after a while, you're like, you know what? Okay, I spoke to white people and they're not feeling that part. So I was thinking, they said that they could give us more jobs with higher pay and open up more places for us to live if we don't continue down the road of trying to build an economy. And it's like, wait a minute, who's supposed to be working for us or the white people?
Yeah. And like I said, they wouldn't want to go as far. So we would say that's what we want. They would say, well, let's stop short of that. Because at the end of the day, it comes back to finances. So that's going to cut their money. So you think that a person that is in a dominant society, so to speak, would want to cut their funds or cut their society down at the cost of helping you bring your society up? Nah, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? Let's not with police kicking our ass. You know what I mean? They would want to keep it to certain issues when it comes to the Black community. You already know that that's what it's going to be. They can't go but so far with it.
One. And then once you start to alter your message to appease another group of people, then you're no longer appeasing your people.
It's no longer
you're no longer working for people. Yeah, it's no longer the same movement. You can't even say it's for Black people no more.
It's for all,
Because the
like the
person
Congressional Black Caucus, like the Congressional Black
You know
Caucus.
what I'm saying? No.
It's for everybody. That's what it always turns into. Once you bring one in, it turns into an all thing.
Yeah, but see, the reason why I read all of that just to show that we didn't walk down this path of the white allies before.
Right. We
done had this conversation. We done figured this out. We done tried and tested it already. Why in 2017 we're still talking about this? Something from 1960 something. 1960 something. 2017 we're talking about this. And we don't see nothing wrong with that, Smoke. We think that all this is cool. All this makes sense. All this makes sense.
Our agenda and narrative is fucked, you know what I'm saying? And as soon as we can see that we continue to keep pretty much trucking down the same road, you know what I'm saying? We just making left-handed turns, you know, make a left. It's like we keep going, we just going down the same street. So it's like we got to come to the realization that, you know, one, we have to, all of this history we know, and all the things that people be quoting, you know what I'm saying, saluting black leaders, you would think that we would be able to put the correlation between the two. You know what I mean? What was happening then versus what's happening now. We have to, at some point, come to the realization that we are not making any progress. So our narrative is off. You know what I mean? Our goals are off. And so that's pretty much the same issue, because, I mean, and you pointing that out is, like, sad. You know what I mean? It's disappointing. Yeah. Because now it's like when you have you know, when you look at, when you feel the vibe, you know what I'm saying, just amongst black people, it feels good. You know what I mean? When you just hear people talk like, yeah, you know what I mean? Hope we get Trump up out of there, blah, blah, blah. You know, everybody talking about policy. You know, they talking about what Trump said. They talking about King Jong-il. You know what I mean? Everybody's kind of abreast of what's happening right now. But then when it's like, when you peel back the layers, this is just all shit that's repeating itself. So it's just like, oh, this is where, you know, it's like when you come to realization, like, oh, all right, this is where we at in the cycle. All right, in a few more years, it's going to be this. And it's like, it's kind of depressing. You know what I mean? It's like you read that shit, it's like, damn, you know, this really just part of the cycle. Or we're going to be back on our nigga shit when we get a Democrat back in office. However many years that be. Oh, all right, man. Damn. That's really what it's feeling. That's what it feels like. It's like, damn, you know, it's sad. So we, on a major level, you know what I mean, we have to put that together. You know, we have to bridge that gap together. And then once that's done, we have to go into action in removing the people that have the old theories, that want to hang on to the same track. You know, the people that want to stay on the same street and keep making left-handed turns, we gotta fucking get rid of them. And, you know, and like you spoke to before, we have to have fresh new ideas, and because the same shit is getting us the same results. And when you realize that it's just a vicious cycle, that's what makes it even worse. It's just like, damn, at some point, you know what I mean, it's gonna go back to the old shit.
And that's the whole shit. It's like, it's the same shit. That's why I come to the conclusion, yo, man, just build your family. That's one thing we can all agree. A lot of us have weak families. In the black communities, there's a lot of weak families. You know what? Build your family up. That's not hard. You don't need to read a bunch of books. You don't got to do nothing crazy. You ain't got to pay for you don't need no status. You don't need nothing spooky, nothing to build your family up. And here on In Black America Radio, you'll hear a lot of suggestions, tips, places to send your children, ideas, ways to stir them up and raise them up, and different viewpoints that can elevate your thought process or add or contribute to it. You know what I'm saying? And make it stronger, because still sharp and still on the side. So build your seed, yo. This whole is a hustle. So we see right there what it says. In Greenwood, the Black Power slogan was first used, according to Martin Luther King. Not first used, but used as a slogan.
Greenwood.
As a rally. It sounds like, to me, Greenwood, Oklahoma. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
I was wondering Oklahoma, but I don't know.
I know it's from South Greenwood out in South Carolina.
You know, Greenwood in Oklahoma, 'cause that's where the Black Wall Street is.
True.
But, yeah, I don't know. It might be Mississippi shit. Because it was in Mississippi. Yeah, I don't know.
A lot of these town names, city names, we repeating each other. So especially the small ones. So you already know. It could be anyone.
Yeah. So the point I was saying was, so we call Michael Hughes the Black Power rallying cry. That differs from what Martin Luther King wanted to do. 2017, we have the nonviolent black people who want to work with the white allies and assimilate versus the black people screaming Black Power and don't want to work with white people. 2017. That's why when I tell black people, this shit happens over and over again. No, it don't. I ain't never see rallies and uprisings and black people coming together like this before. Just because you ain't see it don't mean it ain't happen. This happened before. Just because you ain't see it don't. You telling me that like that's supposed to mean something. Okay, you didn't see it, but I'm telling you, this always happens. This always happens. Waka Flocka doing the like I said, he got a mourner there. So he's saying his stuff about not being black and all kinds of stuff like that. Straight up, yo, you got to get the brother, get off his back. All going on with him right now is he got a mourner there. So that's who opening his eyes to information. All of this shit is just information. If a Rasta was in his ear, he would have been talking Rasta shit. If a Hebrew was in his ear like Kendrick, he would have been talking that shit. 5%, etc., etc. You need to celebrate when a black man opens his eyes, not ridicule him because you don't like the information coming out of his mouth. I understand it, though. I understand it, but the thing that I appreciate about Waka Flocka is the fact that he said he was ignorant to the information. He was learning. That means he's learning, and he's willing to take time to learn. You see what I'm saying? Compared to the person that would argue. If he was sitting there arguing with somebody about it, then I'd have been like, yeah, you sound like a fool. But when he just discussing him and his reasoning about it, then I could accept that. I'm pretty sure people listen to me talk on here and they'd be like, what the hell is he talking about?
Yeah, but also it was just the vibe of him, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you hear him talk, you know what I mean, especially his, like, more recent shit, he'll always be talking about his wife, his family, you know what I'm saying, businesses, investing, and shit like that. So, you know, you just said, you know, build your family up. Sound like that's what that brother be doing. So, overall, it's like, you know, he has a certain philosophy or ideology, you know, he might be attaching to right now. But when you look at it as a black man, he out there competing. He out there, you know, getting money, spoke on making his own, you know, paying for his own tour and doing shit like that and just making investments and shit like that. So, you know, overall, he making moves that, you know, we should be making as black men, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, you can't really hate that much, you know what I mean? It's all G. You know what I mean? At least he learning. You know what I'm saying? At least he delving into something outside of the normal. You know, who the hottest sneakers or the biggest jewels, and you know the stupid shit rappers be on. You know?
Yeah. That man learning. He learning and shit. So you can't fault a man for opening his eyes. All you supposed to say to yourself is, you know what, brother? Let me build with you. You said you're not black? Let's have a discussion about that. Let's build with you. Well, you know what? You ain't black because, you know, I ain't no Crayola. You know they've been using black way before Crayola, right? Here's the documents, here's the proof. His lands, his titles. Look at pictures where they emphasize and make sure the face is black to show you who they is. Damn, you know what? Shit, that's deep, yo. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even realize that. I'm only here. I'm new to this information, but damn, you showing me some shit too that got me even looking at this information. So you know what? Next thing you might hear the brother say, you know what? I don't subscribe to nothing. I don't subscribe to shit. All I do is listen to all information, and whatever makes sense to me and what good for me is what I take, and what don't, I dash away. Then you're gonna hear that. You know what I'm saying? Because he looked like somebody that's not a follower, but more so, let me hear what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? Right now, a more God is there. You know? Right now, a more God is there. But eventually, he's going to get challenged on the information. He got to stand on it. That's all we should be doing with each other as black men, challenging each other to make each other better. Not fighting and tearing each other down and being catty and all kind of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He knew into the information. That's a blessing. That's a blessing when you look at hip-hop and watch everybody as junkies. But you know what else he said too, Smoke, on the Sway interview?
What's up?
How them rap niggas be inside there sucking each other off with record deals.
Shit we just alluded to.
Well, go right back to that Terry Crews. Go right back to the Terry Crews. Go right back to that Ali Vega.
Yeah, I forgot about that shit. Yeah, I said that shit in there. These niggas is weak out here, man.
They're weak.
That's crazy.
That's why I be saying, when I be hearing everybody keep talking about, oh, these men out here, and they got all these millions, why they don't come together? Why, man, these is frauds, man. These ain't men. That's why you could tell Cam Newton dressed up in fucking poom shorts, high heels, and shit, have your asshole showing, and then he's like, okay, let me do that. That's fashion. All of them niggas probably done got sold to him. All of them niggas got sold to him. Because that's to let you know that you a boy. They said, Waka Flocka, that's who. Waka Flocka was saying how them Hollywood dudes, they'll try you in front of your woman to show your woman that you they boy. So when you understand why Hollywood has those, huh?
I said Terry Crews.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the best way? In front of my wife, you walk up to me and grab my dick? The show, you ain't got no power. This big, tall, strong black man, muscular black man. You got no power.
Weak.
But what's the narrative, Smoke? Oh, the woman need to listen to what the men say because the man is supposed to lead and all this other shit. And I'm like, no, these niggas out here is weak. These niggas out here is weak.
That's crazy.
How is
That's crazy.
Yeah, how do you, this game, they got the men crying, women dresses, begging for jobs and work.
But think about what that do to her though. Think about what that do to her. She just there with her dude, a big dude that I'm pretty sure she probably look at him as a protector. If anything happens, he gonna take. You know what I mean? And to have him just brought all the way down right there in front of her. You know what I'm saying? And she might be standing with him, but it's like at the end of the day, you didn't react to that. You let that shit ride, no matter what.
Nope.
You let that shit ride, and she was right there to watch that shit. So it's like, imagine what that shit do to her and how she view him. You know what I'm saying? Or just men in general. Like, damn. That shit, like, wow. You could be that weak. You know what I'm saying? And that's why it's like yo, opportunity gone. Opportunity gone, because it's like what you do, you did some shit, it's like it don't make it any more acceptable, but you by yourself is like, all right, motherfucker, you let the shit ride, all right, I get it.
Yeah, I respect that person.
You there with your woman or your seed or some shit like that, it's like, damn, yo, you really got, they really showed you was a boy, man.
Yep.
You my boy.
Yep.
Come here, boy. That's crazy.
Never came to the work. Not even a boy.
Part.
You my bitch.
You my hoe.
You know what I'm saying?
You my hoe.
Straight up.
Come here, boy.
Come here,
man. Like,
that shit crazy.
Man. Come on.
So then when you're looking at all these black men happen to wear the dress, the skirt, you got young Jock out there talking about he lost the bet. That's why he's doing that. Yeah, all right. All right.
What was the bet? Oh, okay.
What was the bet? Like, come on, man. Fuck out of here. And it's embarrassing because, see, now you got, that's why we got to stop looking towards TV and all that shit, because now you got these boys growing up. They ain't got hustle about themselves. So these niggas growing up thinking showing their ass or some shit like that is how you supposed to be getting paper or getting bread. Like, I remember one day I'm looking at the news. So the news go, Atlanta boys having to hustle, you know what I'm saying, like in Midtown. So I'm watching this shit, I'm like, you damn right, these boys out here gotta hustle. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here in the street. You know, we ain't got no economy. They ain't got no jobs and shit out there. Niggas gotta get some money. You know what I'm saying? So then when the news and shit come on, these boys talking about they out here selling their assholes on the street to eat. And I was like, what? I said, wait a minute. These niggas are going out on the street now selling their ass? I said, what, niggas ain't picking up their gun no more? Nobody's snatching purses no more? Like, that's old school? You now selling your ass? I said, this is what's going on? That shit tripped me out, yo. Because literally, I'm dumbfounded to the shit. I'm literally thinking they're going to be saying these niggas selling drugs, stealing cars, kicking in doors, you know, committing crimes and shit for money. When they said these boys is out here and you got these boys, they're not showing their face and they're like, you know, I don't want to be out here doing this anymore and I just wish Jesus to forgive me and all this stupid shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck am I listening to? What the? Because, see, I didn't come from that era. I come from the era where where we knew how to get money. You know what I'm saying? I didn't come from no era where boys is out here standing on the corner looking for men to purchase them for a couple of hours. Yo, this shit bugged me out. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? This shit is crazy. Then my cousin, he tells me, I roll up a spliff. He like, oh man, that's a good looking spliff, yo. He like, yo, you can make some money in New York. I said, what you mean? I mean, he said, you can make some money in New York selling pre-rolls. I said, what you mean? He was like, niggas don't know how to roll spliffs. They don't know how to roll blunts and shit no more. They don't know how to roll. I said, they don't know how to roll? He was like, nah. I said, how the fuck you don't know how to roll? One of the biggest rules is you're not supposed to smoke somebody else already rolled spliff or blunt because you don't know what they put in that shit. Your mama taught you that back in my day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now you got boys growing up and they don't even know how to twist one up. That's why I be saying to the black woman, you're the key. You're the key to this because 99% of the madness going on in our community comes from you. You're the key to the madness. You have to elevate yourself. You have to change your narrative. You have to say to yourself what it is to be a black woman and change the rules to that because what comes out of you determines the next generation. If the black woman is weak, the babies that come out of her is weak. Straight up. So the black woman has to be strong. If you got your black woman deaf, blind, and dumb, and she got your sons and your daughter, now peep this, Smoke. You got your sons and your daughter. Your sons go to church, believing all in the religious fairy tale shit. But then he's being taught because of society, because of the church shit, because of life. He's a man, he's dominant over the woman. The woman, the little girl, she's being taught because of church, because of society and life, that she's a girl, she's supposed to be submissive towards the man, and he's supposed to lead her and all kind of shit like that. You now have boys that's unprepared for life, being told that you have the responsibility of leadership, but they were never taught how to be a leader. So then you got girls now who's growing up not to apply themselves, but to be led by a man who was never taught to be a man. So then she ends up getting disappointed. So then we end up getting another generation of boys who reject the notion of having to be who he's supposed to be and fight for the economy and compete in the world. He don't want to do that. That's too hard, yo. I want to do something simpler. Why can't I just enjoy life? Then you got a girl now who's getting sick of having to not achieve nothing and have to wait until this man figure the shit out. So she develops the notion and ideology that she don't need a man. I can do this on my own. I don't need him. Okay, cool. She don't need him now, but he's still lost. He still needs her. He can't figure this shit out because he was never given the tools to figure this shit out. He's handicapped. He's castrated at being a man. You know what I'm saying? That's like sitting over here now telling a man, all right, now we're going to teach you how to type 30 words an hour. It's like, nigga, I don't what? We're castrated. We're castrated as men. So now he now still needs her though. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? She got the place. She got the job. She got the education now. So now he still needs her. So now as he's going to deal with her now, then the question becomes, well, why do I need you? Because I got everything that I need. So now the role of the man becomes inadequate. So now he has to now figure out what it is to be a man. But now we live in a society. I said this a long time ago, Smoke. But we live in a society that's trying to create a genderless society. More evidence of that is that now they want to make girls go to the boys' club. So they're trying to make this a genderless society. Now you got boys who want to dress up as girls because that's how you kill the gender. Once you allow boys to feel like it's okay and acceptable to move as girls, that's how you kill boys. And once you have girls get comfortable being men, that's how you kill girls. Because now you're going to have girls grow up who don't have that feminine energy no more. You're going to have boys grow without that masculine energy anymore. You know what I'm saying? So now this is what's going on in society. So now we're looking at our kids and we're wondering, damn, yo, how these boys fighting these girls like that? You know what I'm saying? Look at these girls out here shooting at each other. And it's like, what's going on? This is a genderless society that we live in. And they're pushing us towards a genderless society. And the whole shit starts because we don't have control over our narratives of who we are. We're just going by what the society tells us to do. And society keeps us apart. You see what I'm saying? It's not hard. It's easy. But what happened is we look for white allies. We look at society norms. And we do everything that everybody do because we're scared to be ourselves. And that's the whole science with the whole Eminem shit. It was already understood that everybody was going to agree that Eminem did a great job. That's why nobody wanted to say the opposite. So once you said the opposite, that's why it was controversial. That's why it's controversial. I mean, nobody even asked you how was his freestyle. Everybody told you it was great. Everybody told you it was great. So then when you said, no, it wasn't, they're like, what you mean? What you mean it wasn't? And it's like, God damn, nigga, I'm just telling you, when I listened to it, that shit was corny. And then they want to debate you. And it's like, how is that a debate? Oh, because the consensus is it was great. That's the consensus. So go along with the program. Terry Crews getting his dick grabbed by some fucking Hollywood honcho. You want to be in Hollywood, right? Okay, well, this is what I want you to do. What else you going to do? You know how you like to flex his muscles, right? So I want to see the white dude that said, why don't you take your shirt off? Let me see how you flex your pecs. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you're going to do it. Like, I don't understand. Remember, Hollywood, that's liberal white. That's liberal whites, right? Correct, right? That's liberal whites, is Hollywood. Weinstein was a big Democratic donor. That's liberal white. Let's not forget the other Hollywood Democratic donor who was fucking the gay black boy and killed one. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we're caught up, black men, in a situation where we're being sexually preyed on by white men. So black woman, you being convinced that that you shouldn't be slut shamed and to follow slut walk and all kind of shit and not be accountable for your life and your actions, you can't look towards your man because your man is being caught up in indoctrination that's making him weak, having him submissive towards white men. So you can't even look towards your black man no more. So you got to stop moving like a fool, thinking that the stupid shit is popping. You know what I'm saying? The not doing shit, the loud shit, the bleaching and the blonde hair and the weave and the not uniting and having your kids like halfway fucking raising them and shit and fucking like I said, having your kids go through that fucking religious bullshit, believing all this superstition and shit, having them scared and all that shit teaches being afraid of authority and power. So then when they get into these realms, guess what? You taught me about God so much and to fear God and obey God so much, but guess what? In Hollywood, Mom, Harvey Weinstein is God. Now try to explain to that kid not to get caught up in these grips of predators when all the kid's life he was taught to obey authority, obey power, obey master, obey. We do it to ourselves. We do it to ourselves. And then when a child gets caught up, remember Terry Crews was getting tried in football by white men. I don't know whether the white man that did that to him in Hollywood, but Terry Crews was tried in football. And he felt the same way in Hollywood. He was confused. He didn't know what to do. He didn't want to be ostracized, none of that. And then they cut him. Then he went into Hollywood, got caught up in the same situation. And guess what? They're deep religious people, too. Yeah. It all goes hand in hand. It all goes hand in hand. Debo, same situation. Deeply religious. If you're not studying strength, if your study isn't strength, if your ideology isn't strength, if your narrative isn't strength, then when you get caught up in those positions, you're always going to fall. Always going to fall and get compromised. Rappers, athletes, entertainers, all of them. All of them. And then if you are somebody that follow and listen to these people, then you end up getting those traits because they're going to teach you to compromise. To compromise yourself.
Pretty much.
That's why everybody keep thinking that Kaepernick kneeling is a protest and not a compromise. Kaepernick kneeling is a compromise, not a protest. Because he sat during the anthem. A vet to show respect to the flag and to the vets while he protested. So when Cap said okay and he kneeled, he compromised. Meaning, if the NFL wanted to sign Cap to play football, he would play football. It's all compromising. But when you're so used to seeing compromising, you don't even care. You don't even notice it. You start to judge compromising off of good compromising and bad compromising. If Kaepernick was standing for something, Kaepernick would be like, I don't give a fuck about the NFL no more. Fuck the NFL. Fuck the NFL. I'm not fucking with the NFL no more. Fuck them. They showing me right now how racist they are. Fuck the NFL. That's what Kaepernick was saying. No, when they asked Kaepernick what he says, I'm training every day, and if a team wanted to pick me up, I'm fit to play. We're reactionary. We're not revolutionary. Actionary. we're in such a low position that we don't even know the difference between compromise and standing up. We don't know the difference between progress and stuck in a position. We don't know the difference between white allies and watered down movements. So until another 50 years, we'll be here again talking about the same shit. But at least this time in Black America will be recorded, and y'all can listen to this in another 50 to 100 years, and maybe then you can get your shit together. But until then, you have to catch us next week on Friday. You know what I'm saying, Smoke? Shit.
You already know.
But yeah, man, it's in Black America Radio. You know what I'm saying? With your host, Rasta B. As every Fridays and Saturdays, you know what I'm saying, we do this, we build, you know what I'm saying, me and Smoke. And we just talk about topics, give different perspectives, you know what I'm saying, different solutions, and different narratives, a way of looking at things. You're not going to get the same, you're not going to hear the same shit here that you're going to hear every place else. You're going to get that new shit. And then more importantly, the shit you hear here, you're going to see that down the line. It's all going to tie back in. It's all going to tie back in. All of the old shows, if you listen to them, they already revealed themselves to be true. The only how you know that they old shows is the stories we're talking about, or when I say the date, or because I might say we don't know. We don't know. We didn't get there yet, but we're already there. So go to that Instagram, in Black America Radio, YouTube in Black America Radio, Facebook in Black.America, Twitter in Black America 7. Subscribe, share the information, tell your friends, the people out there trying to open their eyes, put them on to the show. You know what I'm saying? Let's go out here. Let's turn this into a movement. You know what I'm saying? That way we can show what real black power is and what to do with real information, and not all that foo-foo line fake shit. Go ahead, Smoke. Which one to close down with?
Oh, man. Pretty much hit everything on the head, man. Another week in the building. Till next week. You already know.
Yeah, so we're going to be a part of this thing, man. See y'all again.